Hey everybody, I recently got a message from a subscriber and I thought I would address it today. I like answering some questions that people take the time to send in. But this one said this. It said basically, Chuck, I really like your videos on ancient history, but why don't you talk more about current events? I like your opinions and I'd really like to know, and I think your subscribers would too, what your thoughts are on things such as politics, climate change, the war on terror, etc. Well, I don't make videos on issues like that because I find myself, I think, like a lot of people do, and that is directly in the middle. I have beliefs on both sides of the fence, and if I put out my real opinions, I would have to be arguing with people on both sides. Sometimes I think people are happiest when they're arguing and ripping into people for what they believe instead of reconfirming what they actually believe and putting out some good information. And some things like climate change, it is devolved into something that is not about facts, but just about who's right and who's wrong, and trying to put out sometimes fraudulent information to confirm either one side or the other. And it's the middle is really a tough place to be, especially when you're putting out videos, and especially when you really aren't into really arguing that much on YouTube. But I thought I would make a video on something that has to do with current events. I have talked about Fukushima. That is one thing I have talked about. But I thought I would talk about climate change, and I have really two different views on it. Do I think climate change is concerning? Yes, I do. Why? Well, that might be opposed to what other people believe or what they concentrate on, and I think that is important, but let's just talk about temperature. Now here is a temperature chart from the last 600 years, and people say, well, look at the spike in temperature the last, 150 years or so? It's obvious. We have a steady stream going upwards. Anybody can see that. Yes, anybody can see that. Let's go back about 1,200 years. Well, here is our little spike at the far right here. And this is what it looks like over 1,200 years, the temperature change. Suddenly our little spike is looking a little less significant. Well, let's go back about 12,000 years, or about 14,000 years maybe here. But going back well past 10,000 BC. At the very right here is our little spike in temperature change, and this is what it looks like going back, and then right at about 9600 BC, which is precisely the time I said the Great Pyramid was built and Göbekli Tepe was buried, we had this one giant, absolutely obviously a catastrophic event here. And our little blip here is so insignificant as far as temperature change, and there is no normal temperature. Temperature has been fluctuating since the beginning of time, so there is no normal temperature. So people's concentration on temperature as far as climate change, if you look at it from this way, and let's go back here 50,000 years. Here is our little tiny blip at the far right. Can you even see it? Here is our little spike in temperature. Well, you go back 50,000 years, and obviously between 10,000 BC and 50,000 BC or so, the Earth went through absolutely catastrophic events. We are talking years of darkness. We are talking tsunamis probably raging over the Earth. The land changing tremendously, massive earthquakes over 10 on the Richter scale. But obviously these events were so catastrophic compared to our little blip here at the end that temperatures, we are living at this little plateau here on the far right, and our little spike at the end here is just part of that little plateau. And you know what this little plateau is called? This is called the continuation of life over a period of time. We are in our gratitude zone, where we should be thankful that we're in this little region with just these little blips, instead of this hell on earth that went back over 50,000 years, especially between 50,000 BC and 10,000 BC. This is, that says a lot. We are in our gratitude zone up here, folks. But with that said, climate change. Yes, climate change, I think, is a great concern because of the massive amount of pollution and chemicals and poison we are pumping out into the earth, into our water, and into our air. I mean, everybody knows you're not supposed to leave your car running in your garage because you'll die. But we have millions and millions of cars worldwide that are just pumping this crap into the air on a daily basis. And, you know, life goes on. We don't think about it. We have millions of people across the world that put chemicals on their lawn just to make it look a little bit greener so they have a nice lawn. Would you cover yourself in poison just to look better than the next person? No, of course not, but people do it to their lawn, their whole property, and then that gets washed into our waterways, in our lakes, and our streams. This is so stupid to me. Climate change, I think we have a super concern with the poison and chemicals being pumped into the atmosphere. And I wish people would get with it, stop worrying about this little blip in temperature when we are in our gratitude zone, and get to the real issue, which is the poison that we just deliberately spread all around the world, and we think we make our world better by doing it, or it's an improvement. We're so naive, we're so stupid sometimes. But I'm going to leave a link below here. People love to use chemicals on their lawns and gardens when everything you need, Earth provides for you. I'm going to leave this organic gardening website below. I'm also going to leave a few other links below. I had a request to do a story on current events. I thought I would do it on climate change. People better get with it. It's the pollution, the chemicals, the poisons we are pumping into our atmosphere that we should be concerned about. And we should be grateful we are living in this little period of time that isn't so catastrophic and life-ending. People wonder where civilizations were back 35,000 years ago. If they were written about, they were utterly destroyed by this cataclysmic time period on Earth. Hope you thought this was interesting. Have a nice day.